Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades shared a beer with each other after their very short UFC London main event. Tom Aspinall took to Instagram to share this photo. A beer makes everything feel better. What a guy. Big Curtis and his team popped up to say hello. Freak accidents happen, unfortunately. Tonight wasn't my night. Love you all. Paul Craig took on Volkan Oezdemir at UFC London this past Saturday, and some MMA fighters took to Twitter to roast the jiu-jitsu specialist for his inability to make anything of his constant guard pulls against Volkan. Ben Askren tweets, "Why did no one teach Paul Craig how to finish a double leg?" Daniel Cormier tweets, "What is Paul Craig doing? He needs to take some chances on his feet. He is losing the fight by continuing to pull guard. Volkan up 2-0 and he's still doing it." Martin Vittori tweets, "How you gonna act like that before and then fight like you were scared for your life?" Corey Anderson tweets, "Imagine getting all up in your opponent's face at the weigh-ins and then at the start of the fight just to walk out and pull guard 100 times. What do you guys think about the game plan of Paul Craig at UFC London? Should he have been more persistent on his feet? Let us know in the comments." Charles Oliveira joined Sean O'Malley, Bilal Muhammad, and Michael Bisping at the UFC 280 conference in London this past Saturday. Charles Oliveira said he has already fought tougher fighters than Islam and went on to say, "He's dropping in on a wave and that's what he's supposed to do. But if you've seen my record, I've fought tougher people and I'm here to prove that I'll do it again. I'm here to fight. That's what I will do and you will know who is the champ. The ground is his turf, so he will definitely try to do that, but if he does, will he want to bring down the best submitter in the history of the UFC? I'm not sure. We've seen that he is the type of fellow who tries to take the fight to the ground, but that doesn't hinder me at all. So I'm ready for everything that he brings." Michael Bisping and Alan Jouban recently discussed whether or not Amanda Nunes is going to be able to regain the Bantamweight title from Julianna Pena at UFC 277. The pair had this to say.
Can Julianna Pena do it again? Because I don't know the odds, but I'm assuming she's an underdog once again. Got to remember, Nunes, and I'm not making excuses for her, recently had COVID before that last fight. She went in there in the first round, looked like Amanda Nunes, dominated her, put Pena on her backside on a few occasions. Now, in the second round, it was a different story, but we've got to give Pena her credit. She stood toe-to-toe. She traded with her. She landed a succession of right hands, and then she finished her due to a rear naked choke. I do believe, though, that a part of that was because she was absolutely exhausted. Now, was that because she ate a lot of shots and she didn't manage her cardio or energy output, or was it the COVID? I don't know. Either way, Pena
could have been both.
Could have been a little bit of both. Pena got the job done. She's the champion of the world, and I cannot wait for the rematch because she's nasty. Pena is nasty.
And of course, both of these women are coming off of the conclusion of the Ultimate Fighter, right? So they've been around each other for a number of weeks, as you know how that is, and they've been back and forth. They got to square off at the end of the show and kind of test that energy. And you can kind of see Amanda Nunes is biting at the bit, chomping at the bit to get her belt back.
But like Anthony Smith, Magomed Ankalaev,
some good fights on that
main card. I mean, come on.
But yeah, Mike, like you said, Pena was already had a chip on her shoulder. Having that chip and the belt on her shoulder.
If she sees this, she's going to come for me.
I know she will.
I'm sorry, Juliana.
Don't come for me, though, Julianna Pena.
What do you guys think about the upcoming bout between Nunes and Pena? Let us know in the comments. In a recent YouTube video, Henry Cejudo gave us his prediction on the UFC 280 bout between Petr Yan and Sean O'Malley. Cejudo had this to say.
First of all, I thought me and you were gonna fight, Sean. What's up? I told you October was I was available, but I get it. Petr Yan's a more winnable fight for you because more likely this is what you want. And if I was to give you 2 cents, Sean O'Malley, aka Ronald McDonald, the only way for you to win this fight, and you could win this fight, is gonna be based on 2 things. You using your distance, front kicks, keeping them at bay, and doing what you do, because there is things that you do right, and those are your fakes, your feints. You're able to set your hips. This is why you're able to catch your strikes or your hands. You see, I think winning the distance game, and I think the other thing too is, where people are going to be very surprised to see from you, is you using your grappling. I know you're training with ADCC world champ, multiple time world champ, Tanquinho, and I do believe that you've learned a few things from him, because sharp iron does sharp iron. I believe he is a solid dude. I've been able to watch him compete live, and I know how good he is. So if you're able to somehow find his back or be in here with him, you could potentially look for different positions and ways to finish the fight. So number 1 is your distance game. Number 2 is, why not surprise people with your grappling? And I think a lot of front kicks, a lot of the stuff that he does, because there's a lot of things that Sean O'Malley does do well.
What do you guys think about Cejudo's comments? Will he be fighting either Jan or O'Malley soon? Aleksandar Rakic and Jimi Manuwa had an altercation at UFC London where Rakic says he was sucker punched as he walked by Manuwa at the event. The two had a fight way back in 2019 at UFC 153, and it seems Manuwa never got over his early defeat. Aleksander uploaded a video to social media explaining what happened. Here's the clip.
Jimi Manuwa, you piece of you son of man, what a move you did last night on me. Guys, I will just let you know that after the event at UFC London, I was escorting, the securities escorting me to the transfer to the hotel, back to the hotel, and Mr. Still Sleep was sitting in my row at the end of the row, so I needed to pass him by. And I passed by and he talked to me something. I didn't really pay attention first, and the second, I have nothing to do with that guy. You know, for me, this is over. So I start to turn away and he sucker punched me, and even in that close range, he couldn't catch my head. I think he hit me with the forearm on my neck, and the securities were so fast here and they separate us. Man, what move? You knew that I'm be alone in London by myself. You knew that I had surgery 9 weeks ago, and you did this? Man, you're such a bad loser. And I want to people know what a you are. You know, I'm gonna stay in your head forever. I retire you, I knocked you out, and the world saw that. So, happy retirement, Mr. Sleep.
The UFC London event this past weekend was another huge success for Paddy Pimblett. He was able to overcome Jordan Levitt in the second round via rear naked choke and prove to fans he is just as capable on the ground as he is on the feet. Paddy now believes he is ready to move on to the main pay-per-view cards and compete on the biggest shows of the UFC. He wants to move into bigger stadiums and believes the O2 is not large enough for what he has planned. In a recent interview, Paddy said, "I know for a fact now I'll be fighting on pay-per-view with John Anik, Joe Rogan, and DC commentating. I know I won't be fighting in the O2 again, it's too small." Paddy has said more than once that his aim is to headline a UFC show at the famous Liverpool football stadium, Anfield. He recently said, "We will do Anfield, I promise you now." And while Dana has said he won't do Anfield Stadium, he also once said that a woman will never fight in the UFC. What do you think about Paddy's comments? And is he getting close to headlining a pay-per-view card? Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.